Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We're about to enter our third death game for this run, and things are looking pretty positive, apart from, Devon being dead and all of that. But, thinking we're heading towards Richard's ending, but we shall see. Let's get on to the roulette portion then. One more roulette. This should be the last one. One last spin of fates. The first game was a slaughterhouse, and the second one was without a single death. Maybe the next one will be somewhere in between. A modest amount of deaths? Does it matter? I've been assured that even death here doesn't quite matter. That I'll be brought back eventually. Then should I even worry? I'll survive whether I win or not. At this point, I'll just be fighting for a wish. My wishes are pretty handy. And hey, if everyone's fighting for them, why shouldn't I? A 3 versus 1 game. The team against the solo, the loner against the group, an unbalanced game of uncertain possibilities. There's so much that can happen and so much time to see it play out as well. It's not just another team, it's just another team game. Calm down. It's not like Devon will be here this time. You don't have to worry about hurting her anymore. Just survive. No matter what happens, that's all you have to do. Alright. Now that we have that out of the way, who's excited for the game that we'll be playing? What's it going to be? William was snacking on his seemingly endless bag of pita chips while keeping his eyes glued to the screen. Manners, William, manners. But we're going to play Stage Play Shuffle. Super simple game, you're going to love it. And what are the teams going to be? Oh, right, got to make sure we get that set before the game starts. The teams will be Grant versus William, Richard and Clyde. Alright, looks like you two will be surviving with me. You should be thanking me once again. Please stop talking when your mouth is full of food. But these are so good. One way or another, we're stuck with them. Great. Now that the teams are settled, Grant, would you kindly go through the door on the left? Clyde, Richard, William, you three can go into the room on the right. Got it. I'll see you on the other side then. Good luck and good fortune to you. Good luck. As if I need any. I make my own success. You don't have to try so hard to convince us of your abilities, right? Where's this coming from? I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. Really? Seems to me like you're a peacock trying to put on a grand display. You keep touting your own abilities and how you can make yourself useful, but it's more like you're trying to convince yourself more than us. Who asked you? I don't need to prove anything to myself. I just know how amazing I can be. There, that's what I'm talking about. You're saying that out loud and your eyes wince a little and your shoulders sag a bit and your eyes are full of self-doubt. I don't get what you're saying. Just wait and see in this game. You'll know that I'm as good as I say I am. And I don't need convincing. I know that I'm just that good. You'll see. After stuffing his mouth with food, he marched through the right door, looking into people's eyes again. I guess I just feel a bit sorry for him. Sure, he's a bit annoying, and I don't think he's a bad person. He probably doesn't have much confidence in himself. You think so? It's just a thought. Lots of people are like that. The world doesn't think much of them. They don't think much of themselves, but if they say it out loud enough times, well, the saying goes, to fake it till you make it, right? Well, he's very much in the fake it stage of that saying. Probably. Well, let's see if he's able to make good on his words in the next game. I hope so, or our lives are riding on it. We walked through the game door on the right, hoping that maybe we'd fare through the next game just as smoothly as we did the last one. We'd walked into some kind of stage that was covered with fake scenery. I'm getting an idea for where stage play and stage play shuffle comes from. Well, what's with these giant set pieces? They just seem slightly out of place, don't they? I hope that we're not going to be expected to do some kind of acting. If we do, I'll be happy to be the star of the show. Well, my little darling, you'll be the stars of this particular show. Belle appeared atop the stump that was on the stage, posing dramatically before stepping down onto the stage proper. How's it feel having the spotlight on you? Feels great. Feels natural. This is the state I was always meant to be in. Too bright. I also think it's a bit too bright. Well, no matter, because for this game, you're going to be trying to avoid being seen. It'd be a crime to hide my genius and abilities from the world. Well, you might want to rethink that there, William, especially since it might end up leading to your doom. My doom? Your unexpected and horrific doom. Right, so where's Grant? Is he going to be playing around here, or... Oh, he's here. He's just overlooking things from up above, you know? Want to wave and say hello, Grant? Hello. His voice faintly echoed from somewhere above the stage. I suppose I should bring you down here for a moment while I explain the rules. Shouldn't be long anyway. With a snap of the fingers, Grant floated down on some kind of railed podium before stepping back off onto the stage. Nice ride. Thanks, I mean, it's not really a ride. Hush, no gossiping while I'm getting out the rules. I wouldn't want you to miss out on important details after all. So listen up. We're all ears. Good, then allow me to explain. Stage Play Shuffle is a game about being able to hide your presence and being able to guess where others are hiding. The rules are simple. The game will be played through 3 rounds of play. The trio will win if at least one of them is alive by the end of the 3rd round. The solo will win if all the members in the trio team are dead by the end of the 3rd round. Sounds simple enough thus far. Gameplay will go as follows. The curtains will fall, obscuring the view of the solo player, while the trio will attempt to hide out of view behind one of the 4 set pieces. After a set amount of time, the curtains will pop open again, and the solo will be able to select one piece to remove, thus revealing anyone hiding behind it. If there is a player that is revealed, they will be executed. After that, the curtain closes once again and the cycle will repeat itself 2 more times. Simple, right? It's really been able to pick the best hiding spot. Hey, isn't this just based on hiding? This is a Bell original game. Totally came up with this on my own. I highly doubt that, but whatever. So we basically pick a hiding spot and then pray we don't get picked. There doesn't really seem to be much strategy for this game. Well, if that's what you think, Richard, then you're free to go in without a plan. No skin off my back. There's never any skin off your back. You're not the one playing these games. Well, I would, but it'd be no fun if I just clobbered all of you in every game. Such arrogance. Might I ask a question? You may. What's on your mind, Grant? How many people can hide behind a particular set piece? As many or as few as they want. All 3 of them could cower behind the teacup if they wanted to. We can group up. If you think that's the best strategy, then sure. What happens to someone if someone doesn't end up getting behind a set piece before the timer's up? Then they die, of course, because they'll have been seen. But hey, at least you'll die in the spotlight. Not so appealing now, is it, William? Super simple game, right? Why it's so simple, it's like I don't even need to repeat myself. Like really, there can't possibly be any other questions, right? Well, I just have one. Alright, let's hear it. Will the set pieces come back down after a round, or are they just gone forever? You got it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Which means you'll go steadily down to less hiding places. Got it. Well, if there aren't any more questions, shall we get this game started? Might as well. I'm ready. As am I. Yeah, let's get going. Alright, well, first, let's get you out of here. Bell pulled Grant back onto the podium. Wait, can't you be a little... And with a snap of a finger, was sent careening toward the ceiling once again. Well, somewhere up there. I couldn't tell as the curtains quickly closed as he was sent away. Alright. You 3 have got 4 minutes to decide where you're going to hide. Only 4 minutes? That's plenty of time. I guess you're right. There'll be a timer near the ceiling that shows how much time you've got left. Good luck and good fortune. With that final farewell, Bell poofed away in a cloud of smoke and left the 3 of us with little time to make a move. Alright, so how are we going to do this? Do we just pick a spot and then hide? That seems to be the case. Well, I call dibs on the house. That's really obvious. That's fine, you can have it. Though, shouldn't we be thinking a bit more thoroughly about this? What do you mean? It means we should probably think about whether or not we want to stick together or split up. Why would we want to stick together? Does that mean Grant will get more of us if he guesses right? Yes, but his chances of actually getting one right is lower. Much lower. It's true, but if he fails just once, then he loses the game. Oh, I see what you mean. If he doesn't get at least one person in the first round, then the next few rounds he'll just have to stay apart and we win, right? Exactly. It'd be a way to ensure that we'd win, with at least one survivor. But I don't want to die. And your idea would lead to more of us dying, right? Well, that's... I guess he's right. Using that method will guarantee the 2 of us will die. I think it is fine. Really? Well, it's a team game, right? Even if we die, we still win as a team. So chances are if we do die, Bell will probably bring us back, right? You can't say stuff like that and then sound uncertain of yourself. Sorry, I just thought it made sense. What's the point of having a team game if you can't work together and win together? At that point, we might as well be playing a game against one another. I guess that makes sense. Of course, you can play it however you want. Spreading out mitigates the risk of all of us dying at once, but it also ups the chances of Grant being able to pick a set piece that has one of us hiding behind it. Well, whatever you choose, I'm going to go behind the house now. So if you want to group up, just pick the same place as me. The house is the first thing that people will pick. William quickly hid behind the house set piece. I tend to see we only had a minute left to make a decision. Alright, well, I guess we need to make a choice. Do you want to split up or stay together? I don't really care either way. I just need you to make a choice, Richard. But if you want to pass the buck off to me, then fine, I'll decide for us. Like, I wanna group up, but I don't want to group up behind the house. If you said, which one of these things is people hiding behind, my first guess would be house. Group up without William. Let's do something a little middle of the road. We can stick together, but let's not bother joining William. That makes sense. At worst, the both of us will die, and we can hope that William carries victory for us. I'm not banking on William being able to win anything for us, but it's a failsafe at the very least. Right, but there's also the chance that Grant will end up not picking either of us. That's what I'm hoping for. A coin flip that will net us the win one way or another. Okay then. How about we hide behind the tea? No! Any reason? Looks the most elegant, I guess. This is as good a reason as any. Let's go. There's only 4 things here, and they all look very obvious. We quickly... I guess... Yeah. We quickly scurried over to our hiding spots, waiting for the timer to stop and the curtains to open. Now is the time for fate to figure things out for us. Or rather, Grant would. Alright, here we are, Grant. The start of something amazing. How tragic, depending on your view of things. Or tragic. Right. If I don't at least get one person, then I'm probably not going to be able to win this. That's one interpretation. Well, there's no reason to pick any one set piece over another, so... raise up the house. That's what I thought. One house coming right up. Shit, that was William's spot. Well, looks like I made the right call. You've got to be kidding me. How'd you know I was there? Honestly, I didn't, but looks like luck was on my side. Luck my ass. You must have been able to sense my amazing ability and figured you'd take me out early. That's not fair. Even if that was the case, how would that not be fair? You saved the best for last, everyone knows that. I see. Oh, don't be sad, William. You can imagine more like getting first place. In what competition? In the competition to die first. It's quite an honour, you know. But I don't want to die. Oh, William, don't be sad. Just close your eyes and you won't even see it coming. It'll be painless, I promise. You promise? Have I ever lied to you, William? I guess not. Exactly. So just shut your eyes and it'll all be over before you know it. William sighed, shut his eyes and quivered like a leaf in the wind. I wasn't exactly sure how Belle planned to kill him, but maybe it wouldn't be so... Did you just drop a house on him? It was a set piece of a house. Don't worry. I promise you it's still structurally sound. That's not... Christ almighty, it's like you got turned into paste. Don't worry, I'll clean most of it up. With a stamp of the fingers, Belle raised up the set piece once again and cleaned up a fair amount of the flesh, bone and blood that had splattered out from where William once stood. So grotesque. And don't be a baby, it's just flesh and blood. Well, some bones, probably some hair and other stuff. You're made of the same stuff. Yes, but it's still in my body. Alright, Mr. Fleshbag, no need to get smart with me. Just be careful, you're gonna have to survive 2 more rounds if you want to win this game. Come, Grant, back up to the ceiling. With a shove, Grant was pushed back up onto the podium. Hey, don't push, I don't want to fall off. And with that, they went up. The curtains closed and the timer lit up once again. Sheesh. If we get caught, we'll get crushed. Not the most elegant way to go, but at least it looked painless. How the heck are we supposed to be brought back from that? Well, Belle's a god, I'm sure she has her ways. I don't even want to think about how she's supposed to put us back together. Then maybe we should think about how we're going to progress from here. Right, Grant has to get both of us in the next 2 rounds. If we pair up, the odds of him picking an empty piece is 66%, whereas if we split up, the odds would be 33%, and then 50% in the last round, assuming you got one of us in the next round. Yep, just depends if you're more keen for high risk or low risk. Right, okay. I think we should stick together, personally. Let's stick together. It might be risky, but there's no doubt in my mind it's the best way to survive. Alright, if you say so. Still, there's probably some way we can ensure that we survive. What do you mean? I mean, what if there's a way we can trick Grant to pick in a set piece that we're not behind? Do you have any ideas for that? I looked around the stage for some divine inspiration. Frankly, I didn't have to look very far. What about the blood? The blood? Yeah, we could use the blood to make a fake trail of footprints. It'll make him think we're in one spot or another. I guess that makes sense. But wouldn't the trail actually show him where we're hiding? Yes, but that's the trick. Once we have a trail leading to our hiding spots, all we have to do is take off our shoes and hide behind one set piece that doesn't have a trail. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Then should we have 1 trail or 2? We should have 2 trails, 1 for each of us. Though I suppose we could just have 1 of us make the trail. Might make Grant think that only one of us moved. Let's go with 2 trails. I'll walk over to the stump and you can walk over to the bush. Perfect. Just make sure that you walk through the blood. Understood. Though I hope that Belle will be willing to clean up my shoes after we're done. If not, we can take care of it ourselves. Right. With the plan set up, we each walked through the blood, making sure to leave a trail behind us. It was a bit faint, but it was still clear enough that it could be seen. Alright, the trails look good to me. So now we take off our shoes and hide behind the teacup, right? That's the plan. Though, is this the right decision? Maybe this plan's too simple, or maybe I'm overthinking things. The trails are there, no doubt about that. The path to the teacup is clear as well. We should hide behind the teacup? But that makes it look obvious, right? We should both hide behind... I don't know. If we both behind one of the bloody ones, then it's going to make the teacup look obvious, like we did it on purpose. Let's go to the stump. Let's try and stay behind the stump instead. Won't the trail lead to there? Yes, to think about it. Seems a little too obvious, doesn't it? Grant's not stupid. He'll notice something's off and probably suspect we're trying to trick him. I mean, these trails are pretty obvious. In reality, we'd probably warn one another if we saw blood trails, wouldn't we? I suppose you make a good point. Then your plan is to trick him into thinking that we're hiding behind the teacup, by in fact saying, by one of the blood trails? A double bluff, yeah. Alright, if you think it'll work, let's give it a try. Richard kicked off his shoes and walked over to the stump beside me. We huddled close to make sure that we didn't have any parts poking out. And then we waited for the timer to fall to 0 and for the curtains to open. Getting used to air travel now, Grant? It's still a bit scary, to be honest. Oh, come on, flying isn't really that bad. It's mostly the falling part that's scary. Speaking of rising and falling, which set piece do you want to raise this time? Are there always blood prints on the ground there? Not that I can remember. I mean, I'm sure there was blood and all, but the prints do look new. That's it, be focused on that. Look at where they lead. They lead over to the bush and another set leads to the stumps. I can't tell if they're different from this far back, but it would make sense to think they're probably hiding behind either the bush or the stump. Come on, just a little more. No, that can't be right. That's it, connect the dots. There's no way they wouldn't notice something like that. The blood trails are too deliberate, too honest. They would have warned one another, or more likely, they're hiding behind the teacup right now. Raise up the teacup, Belle. What? But I was sure that... I'm done. Looks like he missed them. Then they really just walked with blood behind them as if it were normal? Talk about confidence. Well, you know, confidence is what makes the man. Richard peeked his head from behind the stump. Hope you don't take your defeat too hard. It is what it is. Not a bad move, honestly. Bold. Risky. But I guess you need to get bold at times to win, don't you? Indeed you do. Don't talk like the game's already over. There might be a chance for an amazing comeback. Sure, if they were willing to pair up again. But I doubt they'd be willing to do that. Well, I guess we'll have to see later, won't we? Up we go. One of us is going to have to die, unfortunately. Belle grabbed Grant by the collar and pulled him back to his podium. Hey, what are you doing? You're going to choke... And he and Belle went flying back up again. Looks like your gamble paid off. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Pride suits you well. So, do you want the stump again, or do you want the bush? I'll take the bush, I suppose. Works for me. I'll move over to the stump then. Good game. Well played on our end. Yeah, good game. We each moved to our respective spots and then waited for the time to pass once more. I was a little nervous at the idea of possibly getting crushed, but everything would work out, right? Even if I died, I'd be brought back, wouldn't I? And God can do that, right? Now's not the time to second guess yourself, Clyde. There's nothing that can be done about it anyway. If you die, you die. If you live, you live. And whatever happens afterwards, well, I guess my soul will deal with it. And here we are again in the final round. You really need to improve that smile of yours, Grant. People might mistake it for a frown. I am frowning. I'll turn that frown upside down. You've still got one more round left to go. What set piece do you want to raise? You can raise the bush. Alright, up it goes then. Well, you've caught a Clyde. Good job. How's it a good job? I'm going to kill him because the game says so? Exactly, you managed to get one. Some people are so bad at this game that they don't get anyone. You're not in that category. Ugh. Is this really necessary? Can't we say skip over this? Oh, I'm sorry, Clyde, but I'm a stickler for the rules. And the rules say we got to do this, so long, farewell, until we meet again. Ah, so this is death. It feels oddly familiar, comforting and yet cold all at the same time. I must have been crushed without warning. Right. That's all. A painless death, a quick death, a merciful death. Right. It's not so bad here. I could float here forever. Maybe I have. Even now I can feel death's merciful embrace pulling my mind deeper into oblivion. Just a dark, cold embrace. Until I was ripped back to reality. Gah! My entire body lurched forward, an intense pulsing pain that rippled across my body nearly knocked me out a second time. Each breath felt like I was inhaling needles, but I couldn't stop. Slowly the pain began to subside and I was able to focus on my surroundings. You alright? Richard stood beside me, squatting low and putting a hand on my shoulder. I feel like my chest is being set on fire. Okay, well that means you're still feeling things, so that's good. At least you're doing a bit better than William. He pointed at another part of the stage where William had curled up into a ball. I'm fine. I just have to compose myself is all. You don't have to act tough. I'm sure that being brought back from the dead hurt like hell. It doesn't hurt, I'm tough. I'm strong. Yes, you're very strong. Can you stand up? I just need a second. I really did die then, huh? Yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight. But hey, you're back now and that's all that matters. Right. Richard helped me back onto my feet, and after a bit of balance, I was able to stand on my own. William was slow to get up, but eventually he was able to stand as well. Such a lovely scene, isn't it? Belle turned to Grant with a malicious grin. Now that we have that out of the way, shall we move on to your execution, Grant? Might as well. What do you need me to do? Just head on over there to the stage, on stage right, in the middle, Grant. We'll make it so you have a spectacularly memorable death. Grant complied, slowly walking over to the centre of the stage. Seems I won't be able to save her after all. Not this time, anyway. I'll save you eventually, Veronica, if I haven't already. Is that the lady that he had to kill? Oh, isn't that sweet? Even before you die, you only care for this Veronica. Well, humans can be driven by any number of things, can't they? Well, let's give you a finale you deserve then. Much like life, all that goes up must eventually come down with a painful crunch. I thought it was painless. You said so. All the set pieces fell upon him in an instant. That'd be extra painless. It was almost comical in its absurdity, seeing a man crushed and buried under these odd set pieces. If not for the sound of crunched bones, spraying blood, and other horrible images, I might have laughed. Because how else are you supposed to respond? Cry? Scream? Faint? But all I could do was stare, dulled, empty of any strong emotions. It's not like I knew Grant. Sure, I didn't want him dead, but it was him or us. And hey, at the end of the day, he'll be back, won't he? That's what he said, and that's what everyone's saying. So, does it matter? Clyde? You're right there. You were zoning out for a moment. Oh, sorry, I was just lost in my own head for a moment there. Understandable. Everyone processes this kind of stuff differently. William doesn't seem to be handling it all that well either. No, I'm doing just fine. And just, you know, I had a little bit of blood in my eye. So you decided to simply stare and not wipe your eyes? Well, you know, you're not supposed to rub your eyes. It'll damage them. I'll just let my eyes flush the blood out later. If you say so. Are you done being dazzled? Such a magnificent and wonderful death, don't you think? It's memorable. I'm not sure I'd say it's wonderful. Memorable is wonderful. If it's not memorable, it wasn't worth doing. But now that you're all ready, why not make your way over to the final lounge? I'm sure that you want to ruminate and think about what the finale will bring. Let your mind wander and wonder about what's to come. And then you can seize victory and a wish. Right, the wish. William tucked his hands in his pockets and began to poke around. So how do we get there? Simple. If you just take this exit right here. Belle snapped her fingers and a door opened behind the stage. That's your ticket out of here. I've got another game to run, so I've got to get going. But I'll see you all soon. Until then, toodles. And then she left in a puff of blue smoke. Alright, well, let's go then. No point in waiting here. Ain't nothing for us but the door, and William looked over at the bloody mess that was Grant's body and recoiled. Ugh, I just want to leave. I hate looking at stuff like that. I think most people don't. Alright, let's go. We all walked to the exit and began to march down the hallway. We walked in silence for the first few minutes, but the silence didn't last long. How do you do it? William turned to Richard and it was clear the question was pointed at him. What do you mean? How do you just stand there and not be bothered when people are dying around you? When Grant died, you seemed to be the least affected. Well, it was a gruesome scene to say the least, but I think I was able to get through it mainly because I knew Grant was at peace. He was at peace? Yeah, I could see it in his eyes, a sense of acceptance. He wasn't afraid, he wasn't fearful. He just took what was coming to him with grace. Honestly, surprised me quite a bit. Because you don't think anyone can accept death with grace? No, I just learned a few bad things about Grant. I figured that he'd go out with a boom, not a whisper. Really, that guy? He's about as explosive as bubble wrap. Yeah, now he is, but I figured that anyone working for Cole would have been a bit more aggressive. Cole? You know Cole? Well, I know enough about him. Seen his work firsthand too. Maybe it was rude of me to make assumptions of Grant just based on their associations. I guess I'm just surprised that you were able to get any info on him. I heard that they're pretty tight-lipped. Well, my father and I had access to some of the more private information just due to some past relationships. I'm more curious as to how you know him. Well, I just heard a few things from a few people. I mean, I'm just very studious and I know where to dig to get information is all. I see. So you probably know about his violent tendencies, how he has his own personal mercenary group that parades as a military, frequently extorts money from innocent people, intimidates those who don't fall in line, and if things get really bad, he doesn't shy away from having them murdered. He's a complete and utter control freak and a disgrace of a human being at that. I mean, yeah, I knew all that. Dangerous stuff, you know. This guy sounds like a real piece of work. You've met him, you know. I have? Yeah, he was the guy with the green mask back at the ceremony. I think he had a number 4 on his mask too. Huh, now that you described him as a horrific angry monster, maybe that mask was fitting for him. Actually, I'm pretty sure that you interrupted that guy or said some aggressive things to him, William. Yeah, I did, didn't I? I was surprised you didn't lash out, maybe trying to look good in front of the others. The last time someone disrespected him, he just killed them. Well, are you serious? Yeah, I was there when it happened. Shit, well, I'm sure he's not going to do anything to me when I get back. You'll be fine, he's not going to do a thing to you or anyone for that matter. What do you mean? When I get my wish, I'm going to make sure he can't hurt anyone, because he'd be dead. You're going to kill him? Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good idea, doesn't it? But isn't he immortal? Don't you need a wish to take away his immortality first? I guess, I mean, you can't hurt anyone if he's dead, but won't the others be pissed that you killed him? Like his underlings or the other leaders? Probably. They might even kill me for doing it, but that's alright. That's alright. You're just fine dying to ensure that Cole dies too? Richard fell silent and shivered. Yeah, I'm ready for this. Even though he said that, I could tell that he wasn't completely confident in his words. Are you sure? I have to be. I just have to. He let out a heavy sigh and walked over to the end of the hallway. Looks like this is our last stop. Alright, just one more game to go. But more importantly, I gotta know what the standings are like. The standings? You'll see when we get there. Alright. Let's see what you mean. Richard opened the door and the three of us walked into the lounge one last time. Alright, so, it should be around here. William was looking around the room until his eyes fell upon a spot on the wall. There it is. William walked over to a part of the wall and waved for us to come over. As we walked, we saw some kind of portrait or painting hanging right next to the wall. Huh, looks like there's a lot of people who've already won. Already won? Take a look for yourself. I walked closer to the portrait to get a better look. Oh shit, yeah. There's not many left. William, Zeph, Teresa, Elizabeth, Laura, Richard, and Alphonse. Clyde? Christ, my head is killing me. You're getting a headache just from looking at the portrait? Talk about a weak-minded. Fuck you. God, this headache ain't letting up either. What's going on? Is it just the picture or is it something else? It's like something's trying to push itself into the front of my mind, even if it means tearing apart the rest of my brain in the process. If you need to lie down, you should. Richard put a hand on my shoulder and shook me gently. And just like that, it was gone. I'm good. Guess it was just a passing thing. Alright, just don't push yourself if you don't have to. Thanks, I think I'll manage. More importantly, what's the deal with this? It's got all our faces and some of us have little wreaths of clovers. That seems to be the case. Huh. What's wrong, William? Nothing's wrong, just a little miffed that I haven't won yet. Figured that I've at least shown my skills by now. What do you mean you haven't won yet? I mean what I said, I haven't won yet. I haven't got a wish yet. Don't tell me you haven't figured it out yet. There was a lot of yes. William tapped my portrait. Little wreath means you've already won. That you've already gotten a wish. Well, no, that can't be right. This is like a one and done thing, isn't it? We play once and it's over. No, I'm pretty sure that he's right. But that can't be. I don't remember playing through this. I think I'd remember if I played through more than one set of death games. Well, you clearly don't, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I told you, the wreaths mean you've won already. So we've done this 9 times already. 9. We've done this whole thing 9 times already. Well, technically 10 if you include this run. And from the looks of the things, you've already won, Clyde. And so did Devon. And if Devon won and I've won, then that must mean that there's some kind of cycle of death or rebirth or something like it anyway. So it's true, we really are going to be safe. We're all going to be okay. let out a heavy breath and felt my body relaxing. She was safe. I was safe. We were all safe. You look relieved. I'm just happy to know that Devon and I are going to be okay. That's all. You really do care for her, don't you? Of course I do. She's my best friend. Yeah, of course that's true, but why is my chest feeling hot? It's never been this way when I've talked about Devon before. What's going on with me? She's special to me. I don't really know how else to say it. Oh, I didn't... Well, I'm happy for you. I think you two will be great at keeping each other grounded when this is all over. When it's all over, huh? So, then when everyone gets a wish, it'll all be over, right? That's it exactly. In that sense, my father's already done his part. More than half of us have, actually. We're making up progress. We're making progress. Steady progress. At least I hope so. It's possible we've done this over 50 times and just have had some really bad luck is all. I see. If we need everyone to win at some point or another, then you or William should try to win the next game, right? That's correct, though Laura and Alphonse would also be eligible candidates for winning too, assuming either of them have managed to win their next game. Yeah, I suppose so. Only one of them can win, right? So chances are around 50% that one of them ends up a winner, right? Something along those lines. That assumes the game is purely chance, which I doubt. Alright, okay, I think I understand then. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up here because we're out of time for today. We smashed that death game out. We've only got one more to go to probably Richard's ending. So that should be interesting. Maybe we'll see that in the next episode or possibly the one after that. You know how it goes sometimes. But that was a quick one. Anyway, thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.